If you're always quarreling with your wife or husband, and both of you cannot keep conversations simple, you can't have a conversation without it degenerating into a quarrel or a serious fight, then you need to watch this video. It is important for you and your spouse to be able to have conversations. We call it intimate talking time. But if every time both of you are trying to have conversations, it always end up in a quarrel, then that's a serious problem that should be fixed immediately. Communication is very important in marriage. It's like the blood of the marriage. So if that blood is not flowing, that marriage is going to die soon. I want you to pay attention to these 4 things if you want to improve the communication in your marriage. Number 1, anytime you're having conversation with your spouse, pay attention to your tone of voice. If you don't pay attention to your tone, that conversation is going to become an argument very soon. Watch your tone. Watch your tone, right? Tone is very important, right? If I say, I love you, it's not the same thing as I love you. Now, it's the same word or the same words in the sentence, but the tone of voice changes the meaning of what I'm saying. Okay? So sometimes what you are saying, you don't mean to be disrespectful, but the way you said it is sounding disrespectful, right? So how you say what you want to say is as important as what you want to say. So it's important to use friendly tone when you are communicating with your spouse. When you are having a conversation with your spouse, don't raise your voice, right? Keep your tone as friendly as possible. If both of you can practice the use of friendly tone, regardless of whatever you are talking about, it will keep the conversation simple, and that conversation will not degenerate into a quarrel. Number 2, watch your body language. Communication is 7% verbal and 93% non-verbal. So the meaning of what you are saying will be seen in how you are moving your body and your tone of voice, right? Your non-verbal cues are very important in communicating. So you're having a conversation with your husband and you fold your hands and you're doing like this. Even though what you are saying is right, what you might be saying is correct, but your body language, the way you roll your eyes, the way you squeeze your face, the way you fold your hands, can be communicating disrespect, communicating disagreement, communicating no interest, and that can piss your spouse off. So it's important that you keep a calm position, a friendly position, a loving position, a posture. Your posture matters. Your facial cues matter. The way you put your face, the way you are talking to your spouse, you're talking to your wife, I do like this. You squeeze your face, you frown. If you frown, you want to have a conversation, you're already frowning. That conversation is going to end up in an argument because you've already communicated that you are here to fight, right? So smile, keep a calm face. You can do it. You have to. So many a times you are not aware of. Sometimes your body language is something you've been programmed with. It's a programmed stuff. So you are not paying attention to it. So what I want you to do from today, you want to have a nice conversation with your husband or with your wife. You want to be able to have conversation, and it's important to have conversations. If you don't have that conversation, that marriage will begin to die. Both of you must be able to talk about things without it getting into a fight, without it turning into a quarrel. So relax, watch your body language, all right? Keep a friendly posture. Don't frown, right? Smile when you're talking. Look at your spouse in a friendly way, in a welcoming way. Pay attention to your facial cues. How you place your hands are important, right? What you are looking at also is important. Okay? Don't keep a sharp stare at your husband. You are looking at your wife like this, and you are talking to her. She's going to feel threatened. Okay? So watch your stare, right? And pay attention to your body language. This can improve the quality of the communication in your marriage. Number 3, stop interrupting your spouse. Right? Both of you are having a conversation. Yes, you don't agree with what your spouse is saying, but allow your spouse finish what they are saying. Allow him or her to land. Allow your husband to land. Allow your wife to land before you say what you want to say. If you don't want to forget what you are saying, write it down. Stop listening to respond. Listen to understand what they are saying. You don't have to agree with what your spouse is saying, but you can listen. Because when they feel listened to, they are going to be more open to your own point of view. We are all entitled to one point of view at a time. And your spouse's point of view is valid. It may not be correct, but it's their point of view and it's valid. So listen. Allow him to land. Allow your wife to land before you say what you want to say. When you interrupt your spouse while they are talking, they probably will not also want to stop talking, so they raise their voice. And before you know it, it becomes a scuffle, it becomes an argument. And it might just be generated to a fight. If only you can wait for your spouse to be done. Okay? It's something you can practice that can improve the quality of your communication. Number 4, when communicating with your spouse, avoid using heated words. Yes, you want to be blunt. You want to be honest, but you can be tactful. You can apply emotional intelligence. There are some words you don't have to use. Okay? You want to say, okay, maybe what your spouse is saying is incorrect. You don't have to say, you are a liar. You don't have to use that word. You can say, oh, I think what you're saying is not necessarily correct. Use softer words. You don't have to use, abusive words. Avoid abuse. You don't have to call them. Sometimes it's not like you're trying to even abuse your spouse. You're just being honest. Oh, let me be honest with you. You are wicked. Once you tell your spouse he or she is wicked, what do you expect they are going to do? They have to defend themselves. And it will become an argument. It will become a fight. Reduce don't use sweeter words. Use softer words when you are communicating with your spouse. Regardless of how honest you want to be, how honest you want to sound, you can be honest and be tactful. Say it in a more constructive way. You want to give your wife or your husband a feedback. You can use what we call the sandwich model. What is the sandwich model? You can appreciate them first. Oh, say something positive about them. Then you now say, however, you now add whatever feedback you want to give, and you end it up with an appreciation. Well, I know you are going to improve once I've said this. So whatever you want to say, sandwich it with something positive at the beginning and end with an appreciation or another positive comment about your wife or your husband at the end. It helps them to be able to take your feedback better, right? The last thing I'm going to say is avoid name calling. Avoid name calling. You are a liar. You are a wicked man. You are a prostitute. You are this. You are a manipulator. You are a narcissist. Avoid name calling. If you want that marriage to work, you want your spouse to be better, then you need to avoid name calling. When you are a man and you start calling your wife wicked woman, dullard, you are unintelligent, whatever you call her is what she will manifest to you. If you call her wicked, she's going to be wicked to you. Right? So please pay attention to this. Stop name calling. So I've mentioned 5 things. Number 1 is that watch your tone. Number 2, watch your body language. Number 3, stop interrupting your spouse. Number 4, right, avoid using heated words. And number 5, avoid labeling your spouse when you are having conversation. Keep simple conversations simple. You can have conversations with your wife without it becoming a quarrel. One of the things I can encourage you, practice what we call ITT, intimate talking time. Intimate talking time is a decision between you and your wife or you and your husband. Now you are going to have conversation about something about the marriage, about yourselves, without it becoming a quarrel. You can do this twice a week, 3 times a week. It will drastically improve the quality of your marriage, the love in your marriage, the intimacy in your marriage. have conversation without it, without it becoming an argument. We listen and we don't judge. Yeah, right? You listen and we don't judge. Listen to your wife. Listen to your husband. Have a conversation, right? If you've not subscribed to this channel, click on the subscribe button, right? Turn on your notification button and also share this video to those you think needs it. You're welcome.